I've got a fantastic guest today waiting for us in Austin, Texas, and a company called Pensa Systems, which is an Austin-based startup that's about to announce a solution to address one of the biggest and costliest problems in retail, which is a lack of consistent on-shelf inventory visibility. Probably something that many people listening don't automatically think of, but this problem is costing retailers and CPG brands $1 trillion per year. So Pensa's system is a breakthrough in that it uses artificial intelligence, autonomous drones and computer vision to see and understand and analyse exactly what is on store shelves. And the payoff? Brands and retailers will then be able to minimise those stockouts and optimise product planning and boost their revenues. Now, early trials with major consumer packaged goods and retailers have shown more than 98% in accuracy. So we're not just talking about big technology here. We're talking high accuracy and at a lower cost than other approaches. And this company has been operating in stealth, but as always, my spidey sensors pick something up. So I managed to track them down and get them onto the show today. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Austin, Texas, so we can speak with Richard Schwartz, the CEO of Pensa Systems. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Richard, and congratulations on launching your technology last week at the National Retail Federation Conference. I mean, what exactly did you launch?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Neil. We have been in stealth mode for a while. We've had a website, but hasn't really said what we were doing. And last week at NRF, together with Intel, our partner, we actually showed our first public demonstration of what we're up to. We've been quietly working on store pilots and so forth with retailers and brands, but nothing publicly. So this was the real first public debut for the company.
Wow. Did you? How did it go down? I would imagine that you turned quite a few heads with what you announced.
That's exactly right. You can imagine the Intel booth is one of the largest booths of the show. It's all glass, specifically designed to be really high. And what we were doing, among other things, was flying an autonomous drone, right? So yes, it did attract a lot of attention. I think it was one of the most highly trafficked booths of the show. So in that respect, yes.
Fantastic. So like you say, you were in stealth and you made this big announcement. Could you just tell me a little bit more about exactly what was announced over there?
First of all, maybe taking a step back and tell you what the problem is that we solve, and then what did we announce as a solution for it, and that sort of led to the interest, right? So what we're all about is dealing with the problem of, in retail supply chain, of how do you know what's on the shelf to sell? How do you know what's on the shelf to sell, and how do you reduce stockouts so that when people want to buy it, it's actually there? And it turns out that's a really big problem, both for the retailers as well as the brands. I mean, something like, 1 out of every 10, 1 out of every 8 products are literally not on the shelf and available for sale, which you can imagine is a problem all the way around. Yeah. So what we announced and what we showed live for the first time at NRF is a system to solve that, to automate that. And the front end of that, so there are two pieces. The front end of that is a small autonomous drone. Doesn't do most of the work, but has a small camera and is able to come down and sort of peer at the products on shelves in an aisle. And then back end, not on the drone, is artificial intelligence to kind of process that and recognize the products on the shelf down to the individual item level, and also automatically how the shelves are organized. And we actually did live demonstrations of that, and we talked about the store pilots and what we're doing with retailers and brands and that sort of thing. And that was live for the first time.
So for anyone outside of the retail space, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people in that room that were blown away when you made the announcement, but just for everyone listening, how is it different from how brands and retailers currently manage their in-store inventory?
Yeah, good question. So this issue of what's actually on the shelf is a giant black hole. It's about $1 trillion black hole for a huge industry of retail goods, right? And a lot of the supply chain, what happens in warehouses and distribution centers and so forth, all of that is pretty well automated. And, you go into a retail store and there's the automatic point of sale for checkout, right? And there's ERP for figuring out what's coming in the back. But very largely, the process for the retailers and the brands to know what's on the shelf is people walking around. It's eyeballs. Literally people walking around to check the shelves. And the brands, the large consumer packaged goods brands, people like that, they send in spotters, literally whole armies of people that go in and sort of look at the shelves themselves and try to see what's going on. So all of that is really a heavily manual, heavily tedious process. So what we've done is we've basically brought a new type of technology to do a new type of automation to kind of smarten all that up, both for the retailer and the brand, but also, frankly, to help consumers so when they go into the store, what they want is actually on the shelf.